This is going to be a support guide. The main thing I want to stretch that you need to do as a support is you need to enable your teammates. This means items and abilities, timings, positioning should always be set around that. You need to set the tempo. You're the guy with the macro view. You have to imagine your carry player looking for every single last hit, looking for the next camp to go to. This guy has no mind and no CPU power in his brain left to determine where the enemies are, what things are going on, what the objectives are that you want to take. So you definitely want to set the tempo and you need to navigate the game. You need to tell your teammates, alright, this is the position I want to play you in right now, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to be doing, and look, my teammate, my, I don't know, Phantom Assassin is just farming a BKB. Once she has BKB, I want to tell her again, let's go there, let's do this. You always want to be pushing the timings and the limits and be very attentive of that and kinda be the captain of the whole team. I think really this is the job of the supporter. You're the captain. You're the guy that sits behind, really thinks about what's happening in the game and what needs to be done. And then you bring together all the different pieces, all the different positions, and you try to make a nice, complete picture out of this and do moves together that are great. So making the calls, enabling the teammate, setting the tempo, navigating the game, all of those things are your job as a support. And we're going to see exactly how you can translate that into a game by watching a pro. We are going to watch GH playing as a line. The first thing he's doing as a supporter is that he's blocking the neutral camp. So the enemy has a difficult time to pull. They have to deboard the camp, they have to expand another sentry. Maybe they don't even deboard it, or you can defend the sentry and this stops the enemy from pulling. He sets the ward straight ahead. The ward is going to last quite a while, so it's definitely no issue setting it right at the beginning. And then he moves very aggressively towards the top area and takes the little watcher. The first mentality I need to get out of support players is that they're afraid of dying. Don't be afraid to die. I don't mean that you should casually feed every opportunity you get, but don't be afraid to make bold plays, to be the first one to go, to initiate, especially if you have nice abilities that enable you to do this. Don't be afraid to really get in there, to push your limits and to press your boundaries. And I think this is something we see even from the posture at the beginning of the game with GH. So he positions himself very aggressively, he has his teammates with him on Legion and Primal Beast, and he's looking to contest the bounty runes with the stun, and this way they get free bounties. He also has a blood grenade, so he's ready to play really active. Now we get into the laning stage. There are a couple of jobs that you have for the laning stage. As a support on the laning stage, you want to balance the wave as good as possible, especially if you're playing position 5. You just want to have the wave exactly in front of your tower so your carry can last it. And this is where pulling comes into play. The main reason of pulling is that you balance the wave again. You don't have to spam pull constantly, even if you think, well, I'm denying the enemy some creeps, or I'm getting XP from the neutral camp and some last hits, but the main focus of it is pull the wave if it's pushed in and if you want to reset the wave so your carry can last it. Getting last hits for the carry and the offlaner is a super important thing. The second thing is that you want to trade effectively. This includes using your mana and casting spells. Casting spells is super important. I see it so many times where lower ranked support players have full mana and never use the spell for 3 minutes straight. You want to trade your HP and you want to trade your mana in order to put the focus on you instead on the creeps that you have, so your offlaner or carry can safely last it and you create opportunities where enemies are low HP. If you manage to outtrade the enemy supporter that you're facing in the laning stage, then you have a really good chance of winning the laning stage. And the last thing is that you want to look for opportunities. Through the effective trading, you will find that many opportunities will follow. If enemies are low HP, you can kill them easily. If they try to go on your core, it's going to be more difficult for them because they don't have the resources to play with it anymore. If they are low HP, then you can realize the fact that if they try to pull it, you can contest it. And you also want to look for opportunities on other lanes, which are also your responsibility. Because if mid lane, for example, has a bad matchup and the enemy hero dives your mid lane tower, then you want to be ready with a TP in order to help him. Things like that could be a Lone Druid or Wind Ranger that hits a power spike, or many heroes, Bad Rider for example, that threaten your mid laner. One single TP can turn around a whole laning stage. So let's see how this translates for GH and what he's doing in his game. Immediately he's positioning himself in a very special place, I think, to be in. Most supporters would be just chilling here and they would wait until Venge shows and then they can trade a 1v1. But GH is positioning more towards the left, so he has the ability to threaten the carry directly without drawing aggro. Now this Morphling has to move inside the trees and Venge is blocking him again, which is great. He's just taking a couple hits of the Venge and then he rotates again in order to get a position to hit the Morphling and present a opportunity and harass the carry. If it's possible, you always want to hit the carry, but of course usually the support steps in between that and then you have a trade-off between each other. And this is the first time he uses the stun. And immediately we have a HP advantage. So his trade was very successful and now he has a couple of creeps. They have to block the creeps in order for them to stop it to get into the tower, so he can still secure the next wave reasonably safely in front of his tower. And we have advantage here because we are able to get a deny and this creep wave is pushing into us and we can balance the wave further behind to make it more difficult for the morph. But he's not stopping there, he's instantly clicking the hero, click, he's just press spamming the hero, and as soon as the hero goes to a lower HP level, he also pinged it once to signify to his offlaner that there's an opportunity to go for. He keeps pressing the hero, keeps pressing them, keeps pressing, and gets first blood straight away. Really good play, really aggressive from the start. He is a tango, he used all of his tango already, I think. Yeah, he used all of his free tangos throughout the time while he was trading. Incredible. Now they're falling back a little bit, they tried to reset, and he did it exactly right. He brought himself a healing self, some regeneration, and another sentry. The goal of those trades is not to stop your pre-thought action at the very first trade where you're just both ending up with 25% HP. You want to be the guy that brings some extra regen to nuke down the enemies and harass them, and then to reset and heal up yourself so you can initiate again with full HP against a lower HP hero. So he's using one more stun, drawing mana a little bit, forcing him into a weird situation where he could be gone on by two different heroes. And then he's resetting with the healing self. As you can see, he's staying in a very close proximity to the enemy. He knows that the Wave of Terror was just used, so it's not going to be cancelled. And he wants to be helpful. Every time there is a chance where they show up some aggression, he wants to be with his Legion, so he's still fronting very aggressive. From there on, we're going to keep trading with the Venge. It's always important to constantly click the enemies. If they trade the stuns, this is fine as well. He just keeps clicking. At this point, he's devouring the enemy sentry because he sees that his camp is still blocked and it wasn't body blocked before. He's trading up again. Get some really nice trades out. And this is going to be an interesting situation. So what's happening here is that the Venge is running. And there aren't that many options where Venge can go to. Venge can either say, okay, I want to buddy block this camp at minute 3, but what's more realistic is that Venge is thinking of a way to get towards Lotus Pool, especially since Liang is contesting this. And minute 3 is the first timing where you have to be active. I actually made a timeline for supports, and I think throughout this game we're just gonna keep adding through it. So the very first thing on a support timeline is the minute 3 where the Lotuses are spawning. This is where you want to be at minute 3. So Venge is walking towards this area, body blocking this, and actually stunning the Lion as well. So Venge makes sure that this camp is still blocked even though the sentry went off, and then moves straight towards the Lotus. Lion pings this Venge again, so the carry, or the core in this case, realizes that this is a kill opportunity and we should be able to contest this, and they get a kill out of it. Venge still managed to get the healing Lotus and managed to block the camp again. So this was a very well played action by Venge, I think. It's still worth it, yeah. After Venge dies, this Morphling is solo, so the 2 creeps that are still pushing in, and Legion is going to catch them, will reunite with the own wave a little bit further towards your tower. This means that if Morphling wants to contest them, he needs to stand solo in this area. And many support players do the mistake of just sitting around here and trying to protect the creep wave there, but the aggression is happening here where the Morph is right at. And so he's immediately going for it, he's using a stun, he's using mana drain, and this little bit of harass actually comes a long way. And I think it's really underrated, many players don't do it. Even here, he is still looking to play into an aggressive position because the Venge is still not there. And Venge still doesn't show in the lane, so he's going for another aggression as well. And small things like this just add up like crazy. Now Venge showed up again, and he's still going for the aggressive moves. He wants to trade, he wants to be active. Again, we see that Venge still body blocked this camp. So this guy is very disciplined on his support as well, and just takes away the opportunity for them to reset the wave if they push too far with the overwhelming odds while pressuring the enemy. They're trading again, and if you have an eye on the Legion, Legion does it exactly right. You don't want to be pushing out this wave, you just want to harass in the best case without drawing too much aggro, and then you want to focus on the denies and bring the wave back to you. This is especially important now since the creep wave, the neutral creep camp is not there. This guy wants to pull, he gets contested by the pull. And Lion just chooses to hit the creeps here and hit the Venge again. Really nice. Just constantly be annoying to them, don't let them do whatever they want, and this will increase your win probability and the chance of winning the lane stage. Again, same thing, he just pops his stick, goes for the aggression, sees the opportunity, went in for the blood grenade, and forces a rotation, and gets the kill with his core. Let's actually rewind this and see where he saw the opportunity. So the creep wave is pushing in, and even though there are only 2 creeps that are in here, he realizes that with the stick and the blood grenade that he just swapped back in, because he sees this aggression coming, they can make a play. He's pinging the enemy target, and he's still going for it, and he's still pinging it and using the blood grenade. They get the kill here, they force a reaction, and this is just an incredible gameplay to show how much you can actually impact the game, even as a support on the laning stage is just amazing. He sucks the mana. Nice. So even though they went on the Legion commander here, he's still focusing the attention on him to provide safety for his core and to annoy the enemies even further. Again, he's straight up on the creep waves. He wants to be annoying. He's saying, alright, we forced a Magnus here, Venge is going to TP here soon again, but I want to play. I want them to react to my movements. I want them to feel disturbed. They shouldn't be able to freely take any last hit, and he's just fighting for it. So this aggression just ended, and his camera movement is perfect because we're going into the next thing, which is the supporter timeline again. At the minute 6, I want you to be at the power rune. Especially as a mid lane player, I enjoyed so much if just one support shows up on one side of the power rune. This helps a ton. Imagine you're playing against one of the spirits as an enemy, Ember, Storm Spirit, Void Spirit, whatever, and they get a haste. The results could be a double kill for him and a ton of pressure throughout the whole early game, and you can negate all of that by just securing the power rune. Please supports, at least one of you, either the 5 or the 4, should be there at the minute 6 just to help out, be there at the time and secure the rune. This is exactly what he does. He's running forward, and we can look at the timing here as well. He decided to start running at about 42, and if he starts running at 42, he's here right in time. As you can see, he's standing perfectly on the rune at the minute 6, and he secured one side of the rune perfectly. Magnus still gets the rune, but look at the impact that has. This might have been a solo kill for Magnus that is happening here, and he just interferes with that. And the reason why mid lane is fighting there at the first place is because of the rune timing. They had to put out aggression in order to secure this side of the rune. Both of the heroes committed their spells. And this rotation from Lion basically didn't cost anything for the Legion, and it secured that the Magnus had to waste his RP and that his mid laner didn't die. So the impact that you can get from a single rotation like this, and this has just been like 30 seconds of his gameplay time, the impact is just amazing. So keep this in mind and keep doing it. He heads back to the lane, but takes the bounty rune first. He even wards there and takes the little watcher, and already he's establishing a aggressive positioning. If you ward on specific areas, this means that you plan to play there, or that you want to include that part of the map as a information flow for your decision making. So placing wards in the top area shows that you're looking forward to play actively in this area, and if you play there actively, you require the vision at some place, either here or wherever, in order to see how far you can extend with your aggressive plays. From this movement, we are going to head towards the top area again. Two reasons for that. There might be another aggression coming up, but I think the more important one is the next step, because at the minute 7, if we look at this, at our supported timeline, at minute 7, the XP rune is popping up, and we definitely want to be there in time. If you can secure this rune constantly for yourself, this is going to boost your win rate really, really high. So he's swapping back, and we're seeing that around 45, he's deciding to run for the rune if he's on the wave, and this timing ensures that he is there on point. He also manages to get a stack of the ancients in, so there's a really, really efficient time management here that I just love to see. He's heading back to the wave, looking to help his core, looking for some aggression. Legion died, nothing we can do, and he's using the space that he gets. So he's going to secure himself some last hits here. Don't be afraid to take last hits as a support. And then at the minute 750, he sees his Legion deciding to come back towards the top lane, because Legion wants to finish the plate mail, and he's like, well, it's kind of difficult to last it here right now, so we want to fix this. And this is the first time we can see him pull in order to secure the lane for Legion again. Now Legion has the freedom to either take the wave back in order to reconnect it and farm it with the wave, or she can push the wave and push those creeps as well, which creates a lot of pressure, because the next wave is going to group up with this wave, and then you can pressure the tower even more. See some action from the Magnus. I think Lion even missed a stun, but his presence alone is enough. Is enough to not only stop Magnus from getting the kill, but also he realizes that now the spells are used, and he's not afraid to turn this. I think many times people are way too passive here. Lion has very low cooldowns, so as soon as he sees his core coming in, he immediately turns back to it. Even Slark joins the fight, and he's still sticking around. And now you could say, well, my job basically is done as a Lion because I don't have any spells, but look at his positioning. He's immediately pinging the next target. He's like, alright, the biggest guy of their team, their mid lane Magnus, just used the RP and died top, and now we can do whatever we want. He has his stick charges available, and he's just chasing in for the kill. He's even hopping in, using that distraction. Nobody would think about that if you push in this deep, that you're here for warding, but he just uses that opportunity to set the ward as well for the future, and he finishes the chase, and they kill the Venge as well. Really amazing to see how he reacts for that. So there's stress coming into him, but he doesn't overreact. He calculates what kind of spells they actually threaten him, and once they're used, he's willing to play very aggressive. It's grouping up. We're having his level 6 that is coming up. And then minute 10 is growing in as well. So the reason why he's moving towards the mid lane here is he wants to get the XP for the level 6. He wants to take the pressure off the tower and giving his teammates a chance to join this and enable them to play. And he wants to be around when the minute 10 rune spawns. This ties in very well with the supporter timeline. At minute 8 we have the power rune. In this case he was fighting with his team. You don't always have to be there if there are other opportunities that are rising, but it's nice to keep in mind. And then minute 9 we would have the Lotus again, but in this case he was still fighting, and now he's rotating for the minute 10 to be in the area of the power rune and to defend an objective. So he's sitting around the mid lane, even Grimstroke is looking for the rune and casts his spells actively. Primal Beast decides not to dive the Magnus, and immediately we see Lion taking action. So we just went out of vision from Magnus with Primal Beast, and Lion still has level 6. So he jumped to follow this Primal Beast, and even though Primal Beast wanted to farm this camp probably, he's like, nope, we are doing something. He's pressing the smoke, and immediately Primal Beast of course turns from this camp towards wherever GH is leading him, and GH is definitely wanting to get a kill with that level 6, so he's moving towards the bottom area looking for the Beastmaster. Sees the Beastmaster, pings the Beastmaster, jumps in, gets the initiation, even saves his finger, so he doesn't kill steal it just to get some charges. He wants to keep his potential for aggression upwards. He's moving towards the top area. Look at his aggressive positioning. You could say this is just suicide that he's doing here, but I think he really understands his limits and his timings. So he knows he has a Primal Beast, which is a really early and mobile hero that can join him in any fight that he's participating in. And he initiates it onto the Tiny, harassing him, forcing enemies his way and forcing enemies Primal Beast's way. And Primal Beast is super strong right now. This is another core concept we want to understand as support players. We want to play with the heroes that are strong right now if we have a power spike like a ulti ready. So he's still sitting around here. Look at this constant aggression, this constant being a threat towards the enemies. They're going at the Grimstroke, but he's still kiting around here. Now notice how aggressive he's playing. He's stunning the Magnus, he's forcing reactions, they almost get a kill, they force the ulti, and yeah, this is crazy. He used his Tumbler's Toy to basically get distance from the enemy's RP. Such a nice play. Whoop, and he jumps away. They skewer in the Primal Beast, but it doesn't really matter since it's really tanky. They look for an even further opportunity. This aggressive posturing, playing around his core, it's just so amazing how he knows his limit. He's not afraid of getting stunned. He wants the stun to be drawn on him or to at least give the opportunity for the enemies to do it. So he's able to save his core and he's able to stun back. He still has his ulti, so he's really thoughtful about his mana. Even though he has 20 stick charges, we don't want to waste our spells. They're retreating a little bit. And look at Lion again. He's like, nope, I'm not done here. I'm going in again. I'm constantly a threat, constantly pressure. There's a stun top, there's a stun bottom. So many things are happening. And he gets the kill on the Magnus. Even here, he's still looking for aggressive plays. Even here, he's still going. This is just endless fight potential that Lion seems to have. Sitting around mid. And finally, they get him down. But they pay with the Venge as well. So finally, he gets punished for that aggression, but I still think it's completely worth it. The things he got out of this, the amount of time that he created for his cores to be in other places, and the things he forces, like he made it happen that RP was used in a not ideal way. Magnus doesn't want to use RP like this, but he feels forced to do it. They don't want to use swap on the line, but they feel forced to do it. As soon as Lion is respawning, guess what he's going to do? He's going to TP here, he's going to smoke, even though he doesn't have the ulti. He filled up the Primal Beast bottle and immediately looks towards bottom. Top lane is already pushed in, so he doesn't want to play that close to a tower, and he doesn't have vision in this top area, so he doesn't really want to be here right now. Mid lane has been defended a ton of times, and we can assume that the enemies are still in this area. But this guy on Beastmaster, he's showing rather far inside of their territory. And the next advantage that you have is that a Slark, ready with the Fuser Blade, is bottom as well. So he's moving towards the bottom area, Primal clears the wave and then immediately tries to join, and Lion wastes no time and sets the pressure. We can watch the map now. We saw that they're top. We saw that Magnus is top and we see that Venge is top, and they're going to initiate on the Legion. And this makes Lion double down on this play at the bottom side. He even marks his Slark to make an aggressive move and not only bait, quote unquote, on the lane here. So they immediately thrust forward, and I think that this Beastmaster was just about to TP out from this area because he realized that a lot of people are missing and Legion died there without any help, so he made a move out. If this line rotation would have been a little bit slower, they wouldn't catch the kill. Very nice aggression. And immediately he's going for the next thing. He's pinging this top area and he wants to play more aggressive. He's looking at mid, asking himself, okay, where can I play next? I have a ult coming up. In the meantime, while their decision is not sure yet, he's just taking a creep. And he's reconnecting with his team. He sees that Primal and Legion are moving towards the bottom side, and all of the cores are together here. If your team groups up as a supporter, you don't want to be missing. So we can see they're smoked here already, and he's just joining that smoke, looking to use an ulti, looking to use some stuns. They get an aggression on mid lane, and of course, if you see something like this, it has to be really like out from clear that you want to go for the mid lane tower next. You want to open up an objective so you can play even more aggressive. This, though, is something the team can do. So if the teammates can do it without having a lion here, and you still have your power spike active, you can look for the next aggression. So immediately he moves towards bottom again, he wards the high ground to have an easier fight and to have an easier opportunity to catch them under vision. He's waiting patiently until his primal beast follows up, and then he's the one initiating, and look at his positioning as well. So beautiful. So beautiful. If you blink in as a line, don't make the mistake of blinking immediately at the enemy hero. You don't want to be straight up in the action and blocking things and making it more difficult to click the hero or getting caught by other heroes, especially if you don't have a ton of vision. You want to keep a safe distance. So he's blinking in, he's moving to the opposite side of the map, and now this guy has nowhere to run. Like every side he's getting closed in by, and then he uses his spell. He doesn't kill with it, he still gets the finger charges, and this rotation again was just masterfully done. He looks for the next thing that he can do on the map, and in this case he finds the lotuses, and then we want to group up with our team again, keep up this tempo, keep up this amazing aggression. Draws immediately, like he's so forward looking, he's always on the run, he's always on the move, he's drawing towards the top side. He's like, alright, we can take the TP here, we can take the twin gate, and we can make a move top. We've just showed bottom, let's surprise him by being top. Always creative, always navigating with his whole team and moving forward. It just shows that he's a really good team captain in this case, and really navigating and leading his team to victory. Pinging the area, sees the morph. If people join him, they can immediately fight. If Slark would have joined him straight away, this might have been a kill as well. Ping the twin gates, they get into a fight, and he gets gone on in the fight. But it's still perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for following reasons. If he would not be doing this, then there's a kill potential that goes away. And since he got the information now that the enemies are up here anyways, he basically tanks a smoke gank or a gank in general for his carry. So in either way, either in defensive purposes or in aggressive purposes, this is a perfectly nice play. Alright, with this we are closing the early game of the typical support gameplay. We're just going to finish the timeline here. At the minute 12 we have the power runes again. At minute 14 we have the XP rune. And from there on, power runes are not really your objective anymore. You rather want to stay with the team and you want to play active regardless of where exactly the runes are spawning. And then minute 20, you could try to navigate your team to the Tormentor, and then after you kill it, every 10 minutes the Tormentor spawns. You want to keep an eye on that. Your job from here on is to ward enemy areas that you want to play in, and you want to ward around objectives aggressively and defensively. So you want to ward around Roche if you want to take it or if you want to defend it. And the same goes for your towers and the enemy towers as well, of course. If you want to play around objectives, try to establish vision so your teammates feel safe and drawn towards this area, and you can spot information that actually helps you to win a team fight. I want to encourage you guys once more to play really aggressive as a support, to push your limits and to test your boundaries. I know a friend of mine who is on the legend rank, and he actually has a distinguished bad mechanically skill. So his mechanical skill is noticeably bad, and there are many times where he just misclicks his buttons, even on very simple heroes, where you think, how does that even work? But he's still winning a lot of his games because he has a really nice English accent. He has the perfect voice and the perfect mic setup, and just a wonderful, like, it's so nice to just listen to this guy. And he's really encouraged to make plays. So his superpower that brought him to the legend level was that he's able to bring 4 random people, 5 with him, into a organized group. And even though he didn't make the best calls and knew the best timings when to take Roche or what objective to take exactly, it didn't matter, because if you do the wrong thing as 5 people and you manage to create a team out of nothing, then you're still going to succeed more than if you do the right thing but really split up and randomly and undecisive and just slow. So pick up the pace of a game. This is your job as a support player, and go for it, push the boundaries, and feel like a TI captain if you queue into a game. Command your team to follow you, see if you can push the limits of your hero and the tempo of the game, and then I think it's going to increase your game quality, the fun that you have, and of course your win probability. With this, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see us in the next one.